Morning, everybody. Good morning. It's a lot more people than FCA. All right. Oh, it's already okay. All right. So, how many nights have you laid in bed, kept awake by something you saw on the news or on the street, and then continued to pray for it and hope that it gets better, but then a year later you see the same problem occurring? And don't get me wrong, prayer is a powerful tool and can save lives. But the reason that prayer saves lives is because God uses other people to answer them. Doctors heal diseases, workers build houses, and groups collect donations. The problem that arises is when we listen to the negative voice that tells us we can't. One that says, I'm just a normal citizen from Tallmadge, Ohio, and the world's too big for me to make a difference. Well, I'm here to tell you that the voice you hear is wrong. Normal doesn't exist, especially if you're a Christian. Talking bushes, trumpets crumpling walls, people turned into salt, blind people seeing, and deaf people hearing. It doesn't sound too normal to me. And the reason none of this is normal is because God isn't normal. He's amazing and glorious, and it's because of his great love and power that he calls out individual people to do great things. We are all given individual talents that make us special to God's plan. Some of us are intellectuals who teach people new things and come up with solutions. Some of us are leaders and gather people into groups to do great team projects like mission trips. And some of us are the workhorses who do the hands-on work like heavy lifting, shoveling, and cutting lumber. Still others are doctors, ministers, friends, or parents, each with their own special set of skills. The right thing to do is not always the easiest thing to do. The act of helping people better their lives can sometimes be a long and grueling process. But to be true Christians, we need to be able to step out of our comfort zones and go to places that people need help. In the short time I've been on this earth, I have seen many examples of people using their skills to glorify God, but a couple stand out to me. The first involved two of my classmates, Gabby Myatt and Taylor Spatero. They went to Haiti over this past summer to do mission work, and they talked about their experience one day at FCA during October. They repaired a school, held Bible studies with the local children, and were just friendly, open-hearted people with the kids that were there. The things they did didn't surprise me because they're both very friendly, open-hearted, and hard-working young women that are always using their talents for the glory of God. The second involved a teacher at the high school, Mr. Horner, who many of the young people here know. He's the leader of SCA, and he's involved in a community service project where he goes down to Grace Park, passes out food, clothes, and delivers a Bible message every other week. He certainly is stepping out of his comfort zone to use his talents to the fullest extent of God's will. Both these examples are great lessons for how we can step out of our comfort zone in the name of God. In the Bible, we find many examples of God calling out people to do his work. In Exodus 3:11-12, Moses asks God, "Who am I to bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" God responds, "I will be with you." Nothing elaborate or fancy, just "I will be with you." Because when God calls us out, he doesn't throw us out to the wolves. He walks hand in hand with us the entire way. And again in Joshua 1:5-11, like Pastor Lyman read this morning, we see the Lord tell Joshua that he will be with him wherever he goes and will help him lead his people to the promised land. In the New Testament, it is Jesus that calls out the disciples to follow him at once. Mark 1:16-20, Jesus' disciples dropped everything they had to follow him and learn his ways. They were scared, but who wouldn't be? They had faith in him and trusted his ways to take care of them on their journey. If we trust in God to keep us safe and strong, following his call will be much easier. The more willing we are to follow our destined path, the more joy we will get out of life. Being stubborn only makes God try harder. So whether 1 week or 2 years, he'll get you eventually. I want to leave you with one final thought. In Corinthians 12:4-11 sums it up perfectly. it says, "There are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit distributes them. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord. There are different kinds of working, but in all of them and in everyone it is the same God at work. Now to each one the manifestation of the Spirit is given for the common good. To one there is given through the Spirit a message of wisdom, to another a message of knowledge by the means of the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healing by that one Spirit, to another miraculous powers, to another prophecy, to another distinguishing between spirits, to another speaking in different kinds of tongues, and to still other the interpretation of tongues. All these are the work of one and the same Spirit, and he distributes them to each one just as he determines." So, take this message to heart and surround yourself with the support system and get going. Life is too short to waste, so don't waste it. Embrace it. Make it your goal to do as much good as possible before time reaches zero. That is my goal, and I hope you join me. Thank you.